why many people don't receive from God. Beloved, we now live in a world where people want assurance and guarantee as far as everything is concerned. But you see, when it comes to walking with God and receiving from God, it's all about obedient through faith. When it comes to dealing with God, when it comes to receiving from God, it is all about obedient through faith. Because the assurance that you need, you will not get it. The guarantee that you need, you may not get it. The assurance that you want before you obey, the guarantee that you want before you obey, you may not get it. So when it comes to God, to receive, to experience God, to encounter God in your life, is all about obedient through faith. Because there comes a time where God will ask you to make certain decisions, to take certain steps, to do certain things that will never make any sense to you. The same applies to the prophetic. There are times God will speak to a prophet to ask you, to tell you to do certain things, to obey certain prophetic directions that will totally never make any sense. And you see, I've traveled all over the world, and one of the most difficult questions people ask me is to explain to them spiritual things that they will never understand. And you see, sometimes God can speak to me to tell you to do certain things that even me, I cannot explain why you must do it. There are times God will give me a direction to give people that I cannot explain why they must do that direction. And people expect you to explain in details why they must do A, B, C, D. Not knowing, even you, the prophet, who is telling them to do that which the Lord told you to do, you don't even know why. All that I am doing is to obey the voice that speaks to me, and I am telling you. And what I also expect from you is to obey the voice that is speaking to you. So I heard from God, and I'm communicating what I heard from God to you through obedience by faith. And it is up to you to get to that capacity to also obey. It's going to get very, very interesting. Okay, I am teaching on obedient through faith. There are times God will even use a prophet to prophesy to you, to tell you to do certain prophetic directions that will never make any sense to you. And most of the time, you may ask the prophet to explain to you why you must do certain things. And the prophet has no explanation, because even the prophet himself don't even know why you must do what the voice of God is telling him to tell you. Many years ago, about 2019, I was in Jamaica, and a lady came to me, and she has been having issue of blood for over 7 years. And as a result, she lost her job and she can't go anywhere. And as a result of that issue of blood, her whole body started smelling. So she cannot go to social gathering. She's always indoor. She's bleeding and her whole body was smelling. So anytime she wants to go out, she has to wear more than 5 clothes to calm down the bad body odor on her. And you see, she came to see me at Parkington Plaza. I was in Parkington Plaza. We had a church at Parkington Plaza. So she came to Parkington Plaza in Kingston, halfway tree, to see me. And when she came to see me, she was expecting me to pray for her, deliver her, or minister to her, or prophesy to her concerning her issue. When she came to me, I told her that the Lord said I should tell you, go and look for your mother, apologize to her, and bring her back to your house. And she was like, Prophet, this is not where I am here. I am here so you can prophesy to me about my body odor and my issue of blood and deliver me. I am not here to hear what you are telling me. And I said, that is what the Lord said I should tell you. You know, and he said, Prophet, I am not here for this. I wanted to pray for me. I wanted to prophesy to me about my issue of blood and why my body is smelling. And I said, woman, do you want me to just pray for you, or you want solution? And she was confused. I asked her, are you here for me to just pray for you, or you are here to get help? And she said she is here to get help. And I said, okay, I don't need to pray for you. I don't need to prophesy to you. But the voice that I'm hearing is telling me to tell you, go and look for your mother, apologize to her, and bring her back to your house. And the lady got angry and started cursing and insulting, and and she went. About 3 months later, I was doing church and she came again to see me. She said, Prophet, I want you to pray for me. And when she came this time around, she has lost weight and she became like a skeleton. And I said, I am hearing the voice again. Go and look for your mother, apologize to her, and bring her back to your house. Then she started, talking anyhow and said, Prophet, you don't know what you are saying. You mad? She was telling me whether I am mad. Say, some of my Jamaican people say, Prophet, you mad? Do you know what you are saying? And me, I talk to so. And I said, listen to me. That is what I am hearing. You don't need prayer. You don't need prophecy. Go and look for your mother and bring her back to your house. And she said the mother was living with her and she developed some mental issue, and she will use the toilet and make the whole place dirty and never flush it. She will eat and leave the plate there. She will go to work. By the time she come home, the mother has wet the whole house, and she'll be like she's mopping the house, and she'll wet the whole house, and the whole house will be very wet, and she couldn't take it anymore. So she told the mother to go, to find a place to go. So she put her mother out, and the mother went. And for years, she didn't know the whereabouts of the mother. And she said, Prophet, I am in this situation. My whole body is smelling and I am bleeding. Imagine my mother coming to stay with me with her condition. Do you think I will be alive? Do you know how unbearable life will be for me? And I said, my dear, I wish I could tell you something different. But the voice that I am hearing is telling me to tell you, go and look for that same mother of yours. Apologize to her and bring her back to your house. And she got angry and she went back. According to her, that night she was crying and thinking about committing suicide. And she heard a voice, and the voice said to her, why don't you do what the prophet is telling you to do? You see, one of the most difficult people I have dealt with is people who find it very difficult to obey prophetic instruction. Yeah. And I tell people, listen to me, sometimes the miracle you are praying for is in an obedience to a prophetic direction. Obedient to a prophetic direction. Sometimes I prophesy to people many years after, and they'll come back to me, ask me, Prophet, why did you say I should do what you told me to do? And I said, I told you to do that 3 years ago. You mean you didn't do it? And they'll be like, I am here so you can explain to me why I must do it. Tell me more. You see, one of the most difficult things to explain to people is spiritual things. Because the more I explain to you spiritual things, the more you'll be asking me unnecessary questions that I cannot explain. Hello? One of the most difficult things to tell people is to explain to them spiritual things, because the more you are explaining to them, the more they'll be asking you questions that you don't have the answer for. Oh, why did you mention the name of my children? What is it about them? Tell me more. So why? So why am I going through this? So who is behind this? Blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, the solution is go and do ABCD. So instead of doing the ABCD, why are you asking unnecessary questions? And you see, when people go to the doctor and the doctor tells them they need a surgery, they don't ask too much question. They obey. The doctor writes a prescription. Go to the pharmacy, buy this medication. They don't ask the doctor, doctor, are you sure this medication will work? Are you sure if I take this medication, I will not die? Are you sure if I take this medication, it will not give me side effect? Doctor, give me a proof. Explain to me more. No. Doctor say, go and buy ABCD. You go and buy. Take this medication 3 times a day. You will not ask, doctor, why do you want me to take this medication 3 times a day? Why not once a day? We don't ask. But as far as it is about God, as far as it's about spirituality, People want assurance. People want explanations they cannot get. People want details. People want you to tell them more and more. And no matter how you try to explain, the more they are never satisfied. I've never seen anybody that a doctor told them, take this tablet 3 times a day, and they ask why. I've never seen anybody that the doctor told them, take this tablet once a day, and they ask why. No, they obey, they believe. They believe the doctor, they believe whatever the doctor, even if that will kill them, they believe. But when it comes to a man of God, when it comes to the voice of God, when it comes to spiritual things, people want details, explanation that they can never get. Beloved, spiritual things are not easily explained. And sometimes all that you have to do is to obey. So this woman wanted to commit suicide. She wanted to kill herself. And that night she heard a voice, and the voice said to her, why don't you do what the prophet has told you to do? So she cried the whole day, and in the morning she took a picture of her mom. And Spanish Town, she was in Spanish Town, and started going from neighborhood to neighborhood, asking people, I'm looking for this woman, have you seen her? Yeah. And after 3 days, she finally found her mother in uncompleted building, very dirty and smelling more than her. And she called some area men and women, and they helped her shave her and bath her and brought her back home, changed her clothes and everything. And she said early in the morning she got up just to find out that there is no blood in her pant, in her pad. She got up early morning that day to find out that there is no blood in her pad. Meanwhile, most of the time she has to change her pad at night because it will be too heavy. And one thing she cannot tell is whether her body is still smelling or not. So she took a shower and went to her friends, asking them to smell her body if the scent is there. And they were like, no, it's like the scent is gone. That was her deliverance. Go and look for your mother, apologize to her, and bring her back home. Why must she do that? I don't know. Is it that the mother cursed her? I don't know. Is it that when the mother, when she put away her mother was angry and cursed her or said some things on her? I don't know. All that I knew was the voice that I heard. Go and look for your mother, apologize to her, and bring her back home. That was the deliverance. You see, you can pray, you can fast, you can sow seed, you can do everything you want to do. Your miracle is in obedience. You can cry on God, you can do 100 days fasting, 1 million years fasting, pray, sow seed. You can go to every pastor in town according to her words. She has been to every pastor she knew. They pray for her, cast out demons in her. She will fall down and vomit and get tired and go house, and still the bleeding didn't stop and the scent was still there. But the day she chose to obey, the miracle happened. You see, some of you, only God know how many instructions and directions He has given you that you keep on disobeying. Some of you, you are still where you are, not because God has not answered your prayer, but it's because you have lacked obedience through faith to do that which the Lord has requested you to do, and hence your delay and your setback. To receive from God, sometimes you need obedience through faith. There are things I believe even in this season the Lord is telling you to do. I have a strong feeling in my spirit that some of you, we are in December, there are things the Lord is even telling you to do in 2025. But it is up to you to obey by faith. It is up to you to obey by faith, obedient through faith. Imagine you are Abraham and you are waiting for the fruit of the womb for 25 years. And when you were finally 100 years old, you had a son, your only son. And God said, I want to give you a global name. I want to raise you to the place where you will be a father to all the nations. And I want you to sacrifice your only son unto me. Now let's put aside the Bible. Imagine this is you. Okay, imagine this is me. I would have asked God 1 billion questions. Number one, why? Number one, why human sacrifice? Why my son? Why not a goat? Why not a sheep? Why not a cattle? Why my son? Why? Explain to me. And what next? Will I be able to have another child after giving you my son? What is the guarantee? What is the assurance? What if you fail? What if you disappoint? What if I gave you my son and I didn't have any son again? If it is me, I would have asked God 1.1 billion questions. And I will ask God to sign with an assurance what is going to happen if I do that. Perhaps the possibility and the assurance that I will have another child. But Abraham did none of these things. Without questioning God, he got up early in the morning, ready to obey. Hello, he got up early in the morning, ready to obey. That's very crazy. And at the end of the story, we understood that it is not for the fact that God wants his son to be sacrificed, but God wants to see obedience. Yeah, obedient through faith. If God asks you to leave your job, if God asks you to relocate, if God asks you to do that which you must do, how long will it take you to obey? And you see, sometimes obedience is not doing that which the Lord asks you to do. Okay, you can do that which the Lord asks you to do and you still disobey, because obedience must happen within timing. Okay, obedience must happen within timing. I remember many years ago I was in Liberia to do a conference, and the venue I was supposed to use was taken from me for some reason I didn't know. So I was there and the voice said, go to the barber shop and cut your hair. And those times I cut my hair completely. I cut my hair down completely, low cut completely. So I was looking for which barber shop to go, and I was like, something led me to a certain barber shop that is way far from where I was, and I have to walk. So I went to the barber shop and I have to wait for more than 15 minutes for it to be my turn. And when it was my turn and the barber finished cutting half of my hair, the voice said to me, get up and go outside. The barber was cutting my hair. In fact, the barber just finished cutting half of my hair, and the voice said, get up and go out. So I just told the barber, excuse me. You know, imagine coming out to a busy road, people were passing with that thing the barbers used to cover your, and your hair, half of your hair is cut. Like, it didn't make any sense. So I just obeyed the voice, even though it sounds very stupid and crazy. I just came out. And when I came out, there was this bishop I knew who was from Ghana but living in Liberia. And he couldn't identify me because of my look. So I called his name and I said, Bishop. And he was like, Vincent Grant. And I said, yes. I said, what are you doing here? And I said, I'm here to do a conference and ABCD, blah, blah, blah. And he said, take my number. And I took his number. So I came back to the barber shop and finished cutting my hair. I went back to my hotel and I called him. And he said, I rented a place. I have sound system, speakers, chairs, and everything. And I was just waiting for the right time to launch my church here in Liberia. So you can use the place any day, anytime you want it, free of charge. Listen to me. After the call, tears were just flowing like that. And I said, look at what happened. Obedience. Now, imagine when I heard the voice that go out. Okay, I decided to wait for the barber to finish cutting my hair. I wouldn't have met the bishop. He would have passed and go. Hello? If I were to obey that voice later on, the bishop would have passed away. But when the voice said, get up and go, immediately, without wasting time, listen to me. Obedience is not obedient when you obey. Obedience is obedient when you obey within the time of which you must obey. Obedience. Listen to me. Most of the things we ask God for, the answer sometimes come in a form where you must take certain decision or do certain things. And the key point there is obedient through faith. Obedient through faith. I want to give you a classical example of obedience, especially when it comes to prophetic word. In 2 Kings chapter 5, there was a captain, a Syrian captain by name Naaman. And this man, is a 5-star general. Okay, this man is a ruler, is a captain. Let's say this man is like a prime minister of a country or a president of a country. And he was leprous. For no reason, the Bible didn't tell what made him leprous or how he became leprous. But he was a mighty man, a warrior, a captain, a superintendent, like a prime minister, like a president. And all of a sudden, he became leprous. And he has been all over the place looking for the leprosy to be healed or to be cleansed from leprosy, and no solution. And a maid of his recommended that there is a prophet called Elijah. That is a mighty man of God. I want you to go to that prophet. And I believe when you go to that prophet, there will be a miracle. And he was like, really? And I want us to read the story. I want us to read the story. 2 Kings chapter 5. Now, listen to the story. Now, Naaman, a captain of the host of the king of Syria, a captain of the host of the king of Syria, a mighty man who became leprous. Okay, I want to paraphrase the story to you so we can read it later on. Okay, so this man, ordered his chariot, like a convoy, different chariots, horses and donkeys and everything, and gold and silvers and everything, and sent a message to the king of Israel that I am coming to see Prophet Elijah. I am coming to see Prophet Elijah. And when he came to see Prophet Elijah, the prophet of God, instead of Prophet Elijah to welcome him, the prophet just sent one of his servants to meet him at the gate and tell him, go and wash yourself in the river Jordan 7 times and you'll be cleansed. Wait there. It's like the prime minister of Guyana or the prime minister of Barbados or the president of Guyana or the president of a certain country coming to see me for a miracle or for a prayer or for a counseling. And instead of me, this is a president. This is not a normal person. This is not an average person. This is not a regular person. This is a president. Okay, a president of a certain country coming to see you, a prophet. And all that you did was to send one of your servants to go and meet him at the gate and tell him what to do. That would be like the highest level of disrespect. Who do you think you are, prophet? Hello? A president, a king, a prime minister left his palace to come and talk to you, to come and see you. And you couldn't even come out to welcome him or listen to him. But you send your maid to meet him at your gate to tell him what to do. Like, who do you think you are? But that was what happened. You see, sometimes we need to get to the place of understanding that what we need is solution. Because sometimes you wish the prophet could talk to you and prophesy to you and pray to you, but you get disappointed because he only tell you what to go and do. But don't forget, at the end, whether he talked to you whether he prayed for you, whether he prophesied to you, what you must be interested in is solution to your issue, solution to your problem. Are you here? We need to come to this place. It is not about the prophet praying for you or counseling you or praying for you, counseling you, prophesying to you, telling you everything about your life. Sometimes the prophet will just give you a simple instruction. Go and do A, B, C, D. And that is your deliverance. That is your breakthrough. That is your miracle. And all that you have to do is to obey through faith. Obedient through faith. Naaman expects that Prophet Elijah will welcome him and sit down with him, prophesy to him, tell him, who made him leprous, how the leprosy came, and prophesy to him and pray for him and anoint him, and but he was so disappointed that the prophet didn't even come out to see him and talk to him. He expected that coming to see the prophet. You see, sometimes many people get so disappointed in prophet because they don't understand the prophetic. Many people get so much disappointed in prophet because they don't understand the prophetic. You expect the prophet to prophesy to you and tell you about your life, tell you about your issue, tell you about who did it, tell you about how come you are sick, how come this and this and this and this has happened to you. You expect the prophet to prophesy and tell you everything about your life and pray for you. And to your disappointment, the prophet just tell you, get this oil and anoint yourself, or go and do A, B, C, D. You'll be disappointed. But if you understand the power of the prophetic, you don't get disappointed. Because at the end of the day, what you are looking for is solution, not prophecy, not prayer. Prayer is good, prophecy is good. But what you are looking for, what is the essence of me praying for you and the sickness is still there? What is the essence of me telling you everything about your life and you are still going through what you are going through? What is the essence of me prophesying about your whole life and praying for you and you are still going through what you are going through? So at the end of the day, it is about solution. So many people get so disappointed in prophet. Why? Because they don't understand the mystery of the prophetic and the prophetic administrations. Are you here? Many people don't understand prophetic administration. So Naaman was so disappointed. And he was like, wait a minute. Who do Elijah think he is, that he only sent a servant to come and give me a message? And he couldn't calm himself. He couldn't welcome me. He couldn't tell me anything about my situation. I came here to be prophesied to. I came here to be prayed for. And he just sent me a message that I should go and wash myself 7 times in Jordan. What does my sickness has to do with bathing 7 times? I have swimming pool in my house. Why Jordan? This was what Naaman was saying. There are so many rivers, clean. Why Jordan? There are Fafa, Abana, and other rivers. Why Jordan? Why 7 times? And the man went home very angry and very mad. But the people around him told him that just obey what the prophet told you. Even though it didn't make sense. There is no way you will be cleansed from leprosy by bathing in water. After all, why 7 times? The prophetic instruction didn't make sense. And Naaman didn't want to do it, but the people around him said, just do it. Just do what the prophet told you to do. Just do it. Having worked with God for all these years, listen to me. Most of the directions and instruction the Lord will tell you to do will be very crazy. It will not make sense. And if you are among those people who want guarantee and assurance, you will never receive from God. Listen to me. Most of the people I met who are stagnant, who are suffering, who nothing is working in their life, are people who find it very difficult to obey prophetic instruction. They want assurance, they want proof. They want you to explain everything into details before they obey. Even if you tell them, kneel down, let me pray for you, they want you to explain why. If you tell them, lift up your hands, let me pray for you, they want you to explain to them why. You tell them, get this anointing oil and do ABCD. Why? And at the end of the day, no matter how they pray, no matter how they call upon the name of the Lord, the change they are expecting will never come. Why? Because they lack obedience to prophetic instructions. So Haman was like, I'm not going to do this. And the people around him, they said, you know, General, just obey the prophet. Even though he disrespected you, you are disappointed that he didn't come out and prophesy to you about your condition, about your situation, but just do that which he told you to do. Just do it. And he went and dipped himself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And listen to me. The first time he dipped himself in the water, nothing changed. The second time, nothing changed. The third time, nothing changed. Fourth time, nothing changed. And he'll be disappointed. Nothing changed. At least you expect a little sign that the leprosy is going. But it wasn't going. The 6th time, nothing changed. But when he dipped himself the 7th time, behold, the leprosy got cleansed immediately. Obedient through faith. I was prophesying to a woman in Amsterdam who have 2 daughters who are in their late 30s, happily married, no children. So I prophesied to her that there is a spirit of barrenness in your family that is attacking your daughters from getting pregnant and having children. So I told her to bring the daughters to church the following evening so I can give them a direction and also pray for them. So her 2 daughters came, very, very beautiful, and they all married to prominent people because they are also a prominent people. They have a good job and in the government. Yeah. So I told them what they must do. So one of them obeyed the prophetic instruction I gave them. I think the elder one did the prophetic direction I told her to do, but the younger one just got angry and started speaking in a language, I believe maybe Dutch or some language. Like these African people, I want to scam them, and I don't know what she was saying. So she just went away. So that was it. So in 2019, I was in Jamaica and I received an alert from my old PayPal account that somebody sent me $900. And I was like, who knew about my old US dollar account, PayPal account, to send me $900? So I was curious to find out who was the one. So I emailed back the person and I said, thank you. I saw this amount of money in my PayPal account and I want to know who sent it. And behold, it was the same woman I prophesied to and I gave a prophetic instruction in Amsterdam. And she said, Prophet, I am pregnant and I decided to bless you. And I was like, wow. Few months later, she called me and we exchanged our number from the email. So she emailed me her contact number and we started WhatsApping there. So a few months later, she sent me a message that her elder sister wanted to talk to me. And I said, no problem. So the elder sister called me and she said she wanted to do her prophetic direction because she also wants to get pregnant and have children. And what can she do? And I said, well, I have to pray. And if God gives me any direction or instruction for you, I will tell you. Few months later, she called and I said, God didn't tell me anything to tell you. Few months, she called and I said, God didn't tell me anything to tell you. And she said she wants to come to Jamaica and see me. And I said, well, you don't need to come to Jamaica and see me. I'm still praying. If God tell me anything to tell you, I will tell you. But if God didn't tell me anything to tell you, I will just be praying for you and believing that you also get pregnant and have children. Few months down the line, she fly all the way from Amsterdam and come to Jamaica to see me. And to her big surprise, God didn't tell me anything to tell her. God didn't give me any direction for her. And she feels so disappointed. And she was like, so I buy ticket and I fly all the way, spend all this money to stay in a hotel. And I've been here for 3 days. You don't have any instruction to give me. And I said, I will pray for you and I'll believe God for you. But God didn't tell me anything to tell you. And she was like, okay, what if she want to do what I told her to do I think about a year or month ago? And I said, well, you can do that. But now that I speak, God didn't tell me to tell you to do that which I told you few months or years ago. Now, this is the beauty and the mystery of the prophetic. And you see, sometimes God can tell you to do A, B, C, D, and you delay. When you turn back to do the same thing, you will not get the result you are supposed to get. Why? Because even though you obey, your obedience was beyond the time frame that you are supposed to do that. Who is learning something today? So talking about the prophecy, the prophetic direction that the prophet sent his maid, the servant, to give this captain Naaman. Naaman was so angry and mad and was like, excuse me, do you know I am a captain? Do you know I am a ruler? Do you know I am a big man? How come I come down to see you, to talk to you, believing that you prophesy to me, you pray for me, and you tell me everything going on in my life, including how I became leprous? You just sent a messenger to come and tell me to go and wash myself in River Jordan, knowing that there are many beautiful beaches and rivers all over the place. Why Jordan? But his obedience make the miracle happen. And look at me. I repeat myself again. As I travel all over the world, meeting people, prophesying to people, one of the biggest problem many believers, especially many born-again Christians, have is obedient to prophetic words and instruction. And you see, people don't question a pilot to see how experienced the pilot is before they enter the plane. People don't question a driver, how professional he is before they enter into the bus. People don't question the doctor or the pharmacist, how professional and how experienced they are before they obey their medical advice and co. But when it comes to God and spiritual things, people have the sense that they must know everything and how everything is going to work out before they believe. In 1 Kings chapter 17, Prophet Elijah again went to a woman in Zarephath who the Bible says was a widow. And the widow was gathering stick in order to cook the only last flour she had remaining in her pot. And according to the widow, she said this is the last meal she and her son have to eat. And they know that they are going to die because there was a famine and there is no guarantee that they will be able to get food from anywhere after eating their last meal. And the prophet prophesied to the woman that the last flour you have in your pot, go and prepare a bread for me with that last flour you have, and I will eat it and bless you. Anytime I read scriptures like this, it makes me to think deep. If it was to me, if I was the one, a prophet of God come to me and said, your only food remaining, prepare it for me to eat, and there I will bless you, and there a miracle is going to happen. What is the guarantee? What is the assurance? There was a famine in the whole land. Everybody is hungry. Many people are dying. Even if you have money, you will not get food anywhere to eat. What if you are lying? What shows that you are a prophet? And if you are a prophet, why me, a widow? If you are a prophet of God, how come your God cannot provide food for you, that you came to me a widow and you are demanding me to give you my only last bread? Are you that wicked? The woman was troubled about what the prophet was demanding and asking her to do. Behold, she ended up obeying by faith. And the Bible says, from the time she obeyed that prophetic instruction, every day when she opened that flower pot, there was enough flour for her to cook, for her and her son to eat. And they were eating and eating from that same flower pot until the day of abundance and increase came. Obedient through faith. Obedient through faith. Obedient through faith. I remember I was prophesying to a woman in Jamaica, and I said, go and feed the homeless for 7 days. Go and feed the homeless for 7 days. Go and feed the homeless for 7 days. She's a very popular person that you may know. And that time it was election year. And you know, the campaign and the atmosphere was so much against her. And she was contemplating whether she's going to win or lose the election. And I said, the Lord told me to tell you, go and feed the homeless for 7 days. And when you do that, you are going to win the election hands down. And she was like, are you sure that's all I have to do? And I said, yes, go and do it. Then she went to downtown. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, and day 7. Listen to me. She won miraculously beyond her capacity to understand prophetic instruction. You know, some of you, your biggest problem, the reason why things seems like you are delayed, you are set back, and nothing is working for you, is because you have been applying common sense for too long, that you are missing the visitations that you are supposed to get through obedience. Remember when Jesus went to the wedding in Cana, and the Bible says wine finished, there was no drink finished, and everybody was wondering where they would get drink. And the people came to Jesus and say, Savior, Master, we need a miracle. You need to do something for a miracle to happen. No drink. We believe that you can do something. And he told the people that my time to perform a miracle has not yet come. Right now, it is not, I cannot do anything because my time to start performing these signs and wonders has not yet come. And his mother went and told the disciples and said, hey, listen to me. Even though his time has not come, keep on pressuring him. Keep on telling him to do something. And whatever he will tell you to do, obey. Whatever he will tell you to do, obey. At the end of the day, the miracle happened. Obedient. Listen to me. On our journey with God, on your journey with God, one major key thing you must know is to learn to obey through faith. Learn to obey through faith. Learn to obey through faith. I always share this popular example. One of my daughter in Jamaica was applying for a job. She lost her job and she was applying for a job. And she got 2 jobs. And one she's supposed to, one of the job is a bank. One of the job is a bank. And the bank will be paying her, I think, about 1,700 or 1,800, something like that. And she got another job to be working at a provision shop, like a supermarket, okay, like a wholesale shop. Yeah, she got another job, and this job she'll be working at a wholesale shop. And this wholesale shop, they said drink and those kind of provisions, and they'll be paying her less than $1,000. The bank will be paying her close to about 2,000 or so, I forgot. And the wholesale shop will be paying her less than $1,000. And she said she went and prayed about which job she should go for. And when she was telling me the story, I was like, oh, pray about this thing. You got a job at the bank that would be paying you close to $2,000. That was years ago. And you got another job at the wholesale shop that would be paying you less than $1,000. Why should you even pray about this? And she said she went and prayed. And the Lord told her to choose the job, which is the wholesale shop. And she was telling me, and I was like, are you for real? She said, yes, God told her not to go to the bank, but to go to the wholesale shop. And she went. Few months later, the owner of the wholesale shop has a son who is in America, in a medical school, came to Jamaica, and the father took him to the wholesale place where the business is. And when this guy saw this lady, she told the father that, Daddy, I think I've seen the one I must marry. To cut the long story short, that was the beginning of the relationship. As I speak to you now, the two of them are in America. Obedience. Can you sacrifice big salary and working at the bank to a small salary and working at the wholesale? You know, when she decided to choose the job that she's going to work at the wholesale shop, she didn't know that that job has an attachment to her marital breakthrough. She wasn't just choosing a job, she was choosing marriage. Yeah, she was choosing marriage, and she was also choosing her university degree. Yeah, as I speak to you now, they are planning to get married, and she's schooling in America. Just because she obeyed the voice of God to put aside money and choose what the Lord wants her to choose. Look at me. How many of you have missed so many opportunities? Why? Because you choose what you want instead of choosing what God wants for you. This is very crazy. How many of you will say no to a big job with a good salary to work in a wholesale shop? She wouldn't have known, listen to me, if she were to choose the bank job, she wouldn't have known that she has missed her husband and a green card and the opportunity to school in America. She wouldn't have known. So she would have been working at the bank and still be praying and say, God, what are you saying about my marriage? What are you saying about my relationship? When am I going to marry? Who do you have for me? She wouldn't have known that she has missed her destiny husband by choosing the banking job over the wholesale job. Obedience by faith. Obedient by faith. What has the Lord told you that you disobey? What has the Lord told you that you disobey? What instruction has the Lord given you through your prophet, through your pastor, through your man of God, through dreams and vision that you disobey? What has the Lord told you that didn't make sense to you that you decided that, no, I'm not going to do that? Listen to me. One of the biggest sponsor of delay and setback is disobedience to prophetic instructions and direction. Let me share with you something very painful that happened yesterday. I think last Friday, on Friday, I received a message on Facebook from a guy who we both went to the same secondary school. And he was like, he wants me to pray for him urgently because he is dying. And quickly, I sent him my personal number and asked him to call me. And he called me. And he said he cannot breathe properly. He is dying. And he wants me to pray for him seriously and urgently. So I spent a few minutes on the phone with him, praying for him, praying with him. And I could see that he was struggling to breathe. So after the prayer, I saw a vision. And the Lord said, tell him to go to his uncle and apologize and confess to him. If not, he's going to die. And I was like, what does this mean? And the voice was coming very loud, and it dawned heavily on me to to call him and tell him, say, go to your uncle and confess and apologize to him. If not, you are going to die. So I called him and I said, I don't know, but after I prayed for you, I was hearing this voice telling me to tell you to go to your uncle, apologize and confess to him. If not, you are going to die. Then immediately he said, oh Lord, and he started crying heavily on the phone. So I said, let me turn on the video. What is going on? So I turned on to FaceTime video call. Then he was crying like a baby. And I was like, tell me what is going on. Then he said, he has never told anybody, but he wants to tell me what is going on. And he doesn't want to go to the uncle and confess and apologize because he doesn't want to let the family down. And I said, what is going on? Tell me. And he said, the uncle deals with cars. So he is working at the car garage. And the uncle made a sales of about $5,000 US. And the uncle put the money in the drawer and he stole the money. And the uncle came back looking for the money and he couldn't find it. So he called all the garage boys, all the people who are working at the garage, and asked them who took the money. And nobody responded. Everybody said they don't know anything about any money. So the uncle called a meeting and told all of them to go and bring their parent to have a meeting with them, because if he doesn't find the money at a certain time, the person who took the money is going to die, because he will never let the money go. So all of them, including him, brought the father and the auntie. The mother is no more. And they had a meeting, about 12 people. They had a meeting, and the uncle told everybody that his $5,000 US is missing from his drawer. And it is not a demon or an angel who took the money. And he's giving everybody 21 days. Whoever know anything about the money should own up or bring the money or come and put the money back in the drawer within 21 days. If not, the person is going to die. And he was like, oh, nothing is going to happen. Yeah, he was like, oh, nothing is going to happen. And after the 21 days, the uncle called everybody again and told them that he's giving another 7 days for whoever took the money to show up. And he was like, oh, since nothing happened within the 21 days, nothing is going to happen. And after the 7 days, the uncle told them that they are going to see. And now he's struggling to breathe. And the truth of the matter is that he doesn't want to bring shame on the family. So he will never own up. And he believes that if I pray for him, whatever the uncle has done that want to kill him will never kill him, and he'll be free. And I said, listen to me. The only way out is go, confess, and apologize to your uncle, and you will live. But if you decided not to go to your uncle and apologize, you are going to pass away. And he said, or die be die. If that is the only thing he can do, he better die. And from Saturday and Sunday, I try everything, talking to people if they know about the uncle or the father or the mother or the relative. I was trying to reach out to somebody in Ghana who know about, and I couldn't find anybody. And from there, I was calling his number, he wasn't answering. I sent a lot of messages, he wasn't answering. And listen to me, on Tuesday, he died. On Tuesday, he died. And the shocking thing is, after he died, he wrote a note apologizing to the uncle that he's the one who took the money, blah, 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 blah. Listen to me. One major thing that an old man told me, he said, you need to know how to celebrate congratulations, how to celebrate achievement, and you must also know how to endure shame. I'll never forget this. You need to know how to celebrate when you do something good and everybody is happy for you, clapping for you. And also you must know how to endure shame, because there come a time where you can mistakenly do certain things you don't want to do. And if you don't know how to endure shame, you commit suicide or kill yourself or bring a whole trouble to your family. Yeah, this guy was fasting and praying, believing God that whatever the uncle has done will never happen to him. And he disobeyed the prophetic direction I gave him. He passed away Tuesday. He passed away. Yeah, a very great guy. He passed away, leaving the girlfriend with 3 children. He passed away. He passed away. And you see, it is not that the whole world will hear that he's the one who stole the money. This will just be between the family, the uncle and those. If this person is your uncle, this guy is your uncle, just go to him and say, uncle, I'm sorry, I am the one who took the money. I used it to do blah, 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 blah. Your uncle will just be mad with you for a few days and even be deducting that money from your pay or give you some time to pay back. And you are alive, your family, everything is okay. But listen to me. He thought nothing would have happened. He thought nothing would happen. Listen to me. I always tell people that never underestimate what people can do. And never underestimate what the devil can do to you when you do something wrong. Obedient through faith. He has been to so many pastors, called so many pastors praying, quoting scriptures. I will not die, but I will live to declare the word of the Lord. But the prophetic word is go and apologize. Sometimes the prophetic word can be go and say sorry. I'm telling you. Sometimes the prophetic word can be go and say sorry. And your marriage will be all right. And the issue at your workplace will be all right. And the issues in your relationship will be all right. What prophetic word are you disobeying? What has the Lord told you that you don't want to do because of pride or whatsoever you think? Listen to me very carefully. On this journey with God, one of the key things you must never take for granted is obedient to prophetic words and instructions. Obedient to prophetic word to instruction. You remember Jonah? You remember Jonah? At the end of the day, he has to learn in a very hard way. And to be honest, sometimes there are certain things the Lord will tell you to do that will never make you feel comfortable. I remember something happened to me about 3 months ago. And I was very mad. And I was like, I need to do something for the whole world to know that something has happened to me, and I plan out what I am going to do, and I will scatter everywhere. And the Lord said to me, you see this issue, don't do it, don't handle it the way you want to handle it. Because if you handle it the way you want to handle it, you will make your hand dirty. I want your hands to be clean. So I want you to deal with this issue from the place of love. And I was like, no, I can't deal with this thing from the place of love. These people has hurt me. This thing has hurt me. I need to react, and I need to do this and that and that. And I don't care if the whole family must suffer it for me to get what I must get. And the Lord said, no, handle this issue from the place of love. Put aside your emotion. Put aside your feeling. I want you to heal first. Don't talk about this thing anymore. Don't speak to them about anything anymore. Heal first. Heal first. Because at the end of the day, you are going to get back that which you have lost. They'll give it back to you. You will get it back. But I don't want you to get it back by making your hand dirty. And I was so hurt. For days I couldn't sleep. I was like, Lord, do you want me to put you aside, Lord? Because this is how I want to do it. I can say this and this will happen. I can do this and this will happen. The Lord said, yes, I know. And I have given you that power. You can speak and things will happen. You can say this and things will happen. But you see this case, I want you to handle it from the place of love. Handle it from the place of love. If you go this way, if you speak this thing and say this thing and command these things, you will make your hands dirty. You are going to shed blood. So handle this case from the place of love. and get back that which you have lost with love. So at the end of the day, you will not look back and say, wow, I never knew this is what would have happened. Obedience. And listen to me, that wasn't how I want to handle the case. I want to handle that case my own way, to show that God has truly called me and I am anointed. And the Lord said, no, that is not the way. Handle it from the place of love. Sometimes the Lord will tell you, keep quiet. Yeah, just obey. Say, keep quiet. You are hurting. You have the right to speak. You can say something. You can do something. You can retaliate. But keep quiet. Don't do anything. That's a prophetic word. Keep quiet. Keep quiet. Don't say anything. Keep quiet. Yeah, keep quiet. What prophetic instruction are you disobeying? What prophetic instruction are you disobeying? What is it that the Lord has told you to do that you want to do it your own way? What is it that the Lord has told you to do that you say no because you want to have your own way? Obedience through faith. One of the most craziest scripture I have read in the Bible that it took me years to understand was Matthew chapter 2. Matthew chapter 2 from the verse 13, when God, an angel appeared to Joseph in a dream and told him that Herod wants to kill baby Jesus. So get up in the morning, take baby Jesus and the mother and flee and run to Egypt. Anytime I read this scripture many years ago, I get confused. Why should God tell Joseph that an enemy want to kill Jesus, God incarnated, and told Joseph that they should flee, they should run for their life immediately and relocate? God told Joseph to flee, to run for their life because an enemy want to kill Jesus. It didn't make sense. Why can't God stop it? Why can't God kill Herod? Why can't God protect Jesus? Why must they run for their life? Why must they flee? And the King James say flee. Where must they flee? Look at me. If you are Joseph, you would have, you should have, you said, but I don't think this is God speaking, or you know better, or you want to pray and cancel it. Like sometimes I prophesy to people and I tell them this and this and this is about to happen to you, and I want you to do this and this and this, and all that they will say is, I rebuke it in the name of Jesus. And they will go and never do what I told them to do. By the time they realize everything I prophesy about started happening to them, now they will be running to me, calling my phone 20 times a day and say, Prophet, I need your help. Remember, you told me this and that. It is happening. What can I do? And I said, why didn't you do what I told you to do in advance? Now everything is happening. You are asking me what to do. God said, take Jesus and flee to Egypt. Why must I flee? Why can't you protect? Why can't you defend? Why can't you kill the one who wants to kill Jesus? Obedient through faith. And the Bible says early in the morning, Joseph took baby Jesus and the mother Mary and they flee to Egypt. And they flee. An angel revealed to them that flee to Egypt with Jesus because Herod want to destroy. And they obey without asking question. If it were to be me or you, do you know how many questions you would have asked God? Why? Why you cannot defend? Why you cannot protect? Why don't you kill the one who wants to kill Jesus? But without asking question, they obey that which the angel has revealed to them through dream. Without question. Without unnecessary question. There are people who came to me and I prophesied to them about so many things. I remember a woman in Ghana when I was about to leave Ghana many years ago. And I called and I said, I had a dream that your son went to school and died. I don't know what happened. So this coming week, don't let your son go to school. And I told her what to do, because that would be the son's 16th birthday. And all that she said is, I rebuke it in the name of Jesus. Yeah. When it was getting closer, I keep having the same dream. I called her. I told her. She said, okay, prophet, I'll get back to you. She didn't do anything about it. When it was very, very closer, I called her again. She wasn't answering my call. I sent one of my pastors in Ghana to her. And she said she'll get back to me. She didn't get back to me. On Friday, the son closed from school and waiting. And she worked at the bank. So when the children close from school, she'll go to the school and pick the boy to her workplace and close from work, and they go home. So the 16-year-old boy was waiting for mommy to come and pick him. And this guy doesn't play ball. So he sit down on a fence. The football park has a fence, a block fence around. So he sat on the fence, and he was pressing his tablet. He sat on the fence pressing his tablet. And the friends were playing football. From nowhere, somebody just kicked the ball, and the ball is not even shoot. And the ball just went and hit him, and he fell down. And everybody was laughing, and they were calling him to please throw the ball in. He fell at the back of the fence wall, and everybody was telling him, please throw the ball in, throw the ball in. And he wasn't coming. By the time somebody jumped the wall to go and check, he died. He broke his neck and died. And at that same moment, the mother got to the school. And immediately, they called the ambulance. When they were rushing him to the hospital, the mother was calling me. And I said, woman, what do you want me to do again? I have told you what to do. I have been calling you. You ended up ignoring my call. I sent somebody to come and tell you that this is what I see. Do this and this and this. Or don't let your son go to school this week. And you disobey. Prophetic word. Listen to me. One prophetic direction can save and preserve your life. One prophetic instruction can push you forward in life 1,000,000 times. One prophetic instruction can touch and turn your life around forever. And on this journey with God, obey prophetic instruction. It can come to you through a prophet. It can come to you through your pastor. It can come to you through dreams. And I know sometimes there are a lot of manipulations. People use the prophetic to manipulate people and go, I am aware. But listen to me. Prophetic word can come to you through dreams, through your own intuition, through discernment, through your pastor, through your prophet, even through a stranger. And anytime prophetic word come to you, obedience. Yeah. If it sounds very crazy, pray about it immediately. Pray about it immediately, and to obey immediately without wasting time. Because sometimes you can obey and yet miss it because you obey late. You can obey the prophetic word and the instruction and still miss it because you have obeyed very late. God bless you. Thank you for watching.